Hey, if you have been waffling, pun intended, on starting that package product business, whether it's a food product, beverages, body care, personal care, or even pet treats, I am going to help you decide once and for all whether it is time to get going, to say yes with enthusiasm and know exactly what to do next, or you will have enough information to make it a clear no, at least a no for now. Indecision sucks all of our energy. It takes away all of our power. And I want you to get the information that you need to know whether this is a heck yes or a heck no. I have a super great workshop coming up on January 30th. It's called Launch Your Handmade Product Business. And it's going to be 4 days of live training. And I am going to give you concrete assignments and a little bit of work to do so that every day you're making progress and getting clearer on whether this business is for you. 2023 is your year to say yes with confidence and to move forward with clarity and really understanding what you need to do and what to expect to have a successful, profitable packaged business. Go to foodbizsuccess.com/launch and get yourself registered. There's a limited number of VIP tickets as well, and you'll be able to have conversations with me in person over Zoom to make sure you do not leave wondering if this is for you. I'll see you inside. Welcome to Your Food Business Success. This podcast is for early stage entrepreneurs in the packaged food industry ready to finally turn that delicious idea into reality. I'm your host, Sari Kimbell. I have guided hundreds of food brand founders to success as an industry expert and business coach, and it's gotta be fun. In this podcast, I share with you mindset tools to become a true entrepreneur and run your business like a boss. Interviews with industry experts to help you understand the business you are actually in, and food founder journeys so you can learn what worked and didn't work and not feel so alone in your own journey. Now let's jump in. Welcome back to the podcast. I have been having the most amazing week. It's been one of those weeks where it's more good than bad, right? Life is 50-50. There's going to be negative things and things that we don't want to happen in our lives, but then there's also going to be positive things, and we can't have one without the other. But this week, I would say on the whole has been like 80%, which is so fun. It's fun to have those weeks, right? And I got back from the fancy food show, which was amazing. You guys can follow that journey. I posted some highlights and stories and a little reel over at the Food Business Success Instagram page, and just took the most amazing group of clients and Fuel members who really I think they got a ton out of it, and just even the bonding with each other, right? It's so important to find other people that you can talk with and just find support in this journey. It can be so isolating. And if this is you, I have a place for you to go. But if this is you, I really encourage you, if you're a solopreneur, and it's just you, or even just you and a partner, it can still be really isolating. And it keeps us stuck a little bit, right? It keeps us in inaction and indecision, which is what today's podcast is about. But really having community and individuals that you can rely on. I know for me, my business, my life has just become so much richer and more rewarding because of the people I surround myself with. And so we had fancy food show. That was awesome. We got to connect with a couple folks, colleagues of mine, which are such good connections for these clients that I brought with me. We got to talk with Rob Allen and his wife, Jen, and then Michael Movitz. Shout out to him. He's going to be on the podcast here in a couple weeks. In any case, that was amazing. My flight was delayed, which was a real bummer. I got back pretty late on Monday night. It was weird because it was like Sunday and Monday. So then I just hit the ground running. We have Master Your Business. I had the first call this last week and it was so awesome. I'm just so proud of myself for the work that I put into launching the program, to promoting the program. We have 12 amazing brands, founders in that program. And seriously, their businesses are going to be transformed. They're going to be transformed as people. They're going to feel so much more confident that they have a plan, right? That they own their business and there's intentionality there and they've set up the foundations of their business. I see so many people going after their dream, pursuing it, and they just get so focused on making the product and getting it out there and all the things that are required. And it's a lot, right? But if we don't set up good foundations around our financials, around planning, having a marketing strategy, having an organizational strategy, a vision statement, a mission statement, then I often see those businesses it's like a house of cards, right? It's just built on really poor foundation and everything can crumble if we don't take care of that. So it was just awesome to see all these folks on the call. And I'm so proud of them for, committing to these 10 weeks of doing the hard work. It's not easy work, right? But it's the really important work in their business. And so I do want to run that program again. That's my goal, is to run this maybe 2 or 3 times a year. And there is a wait list now. So you can go to, let's see, if you go to masteryourbiz.co, then it'll take you right to that page and you can sign up on the wait list. So I did that. And then I was like a last minute, somebody had canceled to speak at my entrepreneurship club that I'm part of. And there's about 30 to 50 people that show up for these in person, and they're so fun. And I had told the organizer, like, anytime you want me to speak, I'd love to speak about these topics. And they're more about coaching and just general entrepreneurship topics. And she had a cancellation for January. And so she reached out the prior week and said, hey, can you fill in? And I was like, absolutely. And now I'll go figure out what I'm going to talk about. And it was amazing. I just felt so energized to go and present. There was about probably 30, 40 people there. And it was just so cool. I just feel like that is so in my wheelhouse. And my goal is to do more speaking events this year. I would say if I could do 10 in-person events, that would be amazing. So I'll just put that out there. If you are going to a trade show or you are part of a group and you would like me to speak either on Zoom or in person, I would love for you to reach out to me. And you can reach out at Sari@foodbizsuccess.com. And then I wrapped it up with our Colorado Food Works. We had an event on taking on trade shows. And it was just so fun to see that group back in person again for the first, this first time for the year, and to reconnect with my board members and meet some new, amazing, very early stage, as well as folks who are a little farther along, and just chat with them and see where they're at and support them. So it's just been one of those really feel good weeks. And now it's Friday morning. I'm behind on the podcast, but it's going to get done. So this will be coming out on Tuesday when you're listening to it. All right. So that's what's going on over here. Just wanted to give you a little update. And today's podcast is about overcoming indecision, getting to a yes or a no. As an entrepreneur, if you are maybe you're deciding whether you should even do this business, or you already have your business, you will be faced with many decisions every day. every week, every month, right? And what I know to be true is that the entrepreneurs who are the most successful are the ones who are able to become a person who makes decisions quickly. That said, they need to be smart and effective decisions. We don't just want like flippant decisions like, okay, A, I'll go with A. We want to be doing, making smart decisions. But I see a lot of people sitting in indecision, and it's really slowing you down. And it's just so interesting to see the way, like I can see it so clearly, right? And there's just such a toll that happens when we sit in indecision. And so a person, and I like to frame it this way, like I am a person, and you could say I'm a woman or a man. I am a woman who makes decisions quickly. I have my own back when I make decisions, and I'm willing to reevaluate when new information comes up. But I go all in. I commit to whatever decision I make, and I have my own back, which means no matter what, whatever happens, it could be an epic failure. I will have my own back and I'll support myself. Because when I think about why we spin out in indecision, I think a lot of it stems from not wanting to feel like trying to avoid the emotions of disappointment or fear of failure. Like we don't want to fail. It could be like rejection. So there's a couple of emotions I think that happen where we're trying to avoid those. And instead, if you think about it, like really think about this, when you sit in indecision because you're worried about how you might feel if it goes wrong, right? If you make the quote unquote wrong decision and you're spinning out about like, well, I could fail. I could be rejected. I could feel terrible. I could be embarrassed. I could be disappointed. We're actually feeling those emotions ahead of time. We're sitting in those emotions feeling disappointed. And there's such a mental toll that can happen emotionally and mentally that it's like your whole life just kind of slows down when you're in indecision, right? And it really does. It's exhausting to be like, you guys know this, right? The spinning, that anxiety and the fear. And you're like, but what if? And this could happen and I'll do it wrong. What if this is the wrong decision? It's like, we just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it takes so much energy. And your brain does not like to expend a lot of energy, but somehow it's like this feels really important. And they call this like analysis paralysis, where we just are like, but this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. Or what about this? Or what about that? Or I don't have enough information. And I was actually coaching somebody at this entrepreneurship club I was speaking at about making a decision. And, I do have a couple of podcasts on being more decisive, but essentially it's like when I coach people on how to make a decision, first I say like, do you have enough information to make this decision? Colin Powell, he had when he was Secretary of State, he had the 40-70 rule. So he would say, I don't make decisions with less than 40% of the information. And I make decisions when I have at most 70%. How on earth would you know that you have 100% of the information, right? But we're like, I must have all the information, and we just keep researching and we keep spinning out and we talk to other people and we ask them, and like, we don't trust ourselves. So the first thing is, do you have enough information to make a decision? And 40%, 70%, that's kind of arbitrary. Like, how would you know? But I think, when I think about you starting a food business, you're like, you often don't have enough information. I'll just say that bluntly. I think you keep Googling, you watch my videos on YouTube, you listen to the podcast, but I actually don't think that you have all the information yet that you need to make a decision. If you've never been an entrepreneur, if you've never been in the food industry, you don't know what you don't know yet. But don't worry, I'm not just going to say you don't have enough information to make that decision. I'm going to give you that information in the Launch Your Handmade Business workshop that's coming up January 30th. And the promo ahead of this tells you more information. But if you are thinking about, if you're in indecision, right, you make that amazing, delicious, coolest thing, whether it's body care, food, beverage, pet treats, those are kind of the main categories that I often work with in food business success. But I got you in this 4-day workshop, and I'm going to get you all the information you need so that you have at least, if not more than 70%, so you can make a decision. You can say yes or no, and you can get out of this spinning. I know I talk with people who have been in indecision for 10 years, 15 years. That is exhausting. I don't wish that on anybody. I want to help you get clarity and confidence to say yes or no. But for all of you, for all of us, we are needing to make decisions in our lives and as entrepreneurs over and over again. And so I love that 40-70 rule. So for any decision you have to make, do I have enough information? And if not, what's my plan? Let's make a decision about what the plan is to go and get that information. How will you get that? And what I like to do is challenge my clients to decide. So I was working with a client who was deciding he wants to go on a retreat, like a meditation retreat. And he was kind of spinning out just a little bit like, well, this one and this one. And I don't know the exact timing and my schedule here and my wife's schedule and da. And I said, okay, it sounds like this might be not the right time to decide in your life. Like you have a lot going on. And I don't think you have all the information, right? You don't have like your wife's schedule and the kids' schedule and things yet. But when can you decide to decide? Like, let's just put that date on the calendar. And then you tell your brain like, okay, now we're going to like execute the plan. Or it might even just be like, now we're going to like get off of that for a little bit. It's on the calendar. I know when I'm going to decide. So we said something like February, end of February. So now it's on the calendar. And he's like, okay, now I know the information I need to go get. And I know I'm going to make a decision on that day. And it gives us a little bit of relief from the spinning out, right? And then we can put our energy elsewhere in much better areas, right? So do you have enough information? If not, how are you going to go get that? Decide. And then it's really just about having your own back, right? But when we stay in lack of action, I feel like there's just a sucking of our soul that happens when we don't take action. Our physical bodies and our energy, our emotions, our mental energy, we like to be in actions. We are humans who like to be having forward progress. Science shows us that we are the most happiest when we are making progress, right? It's not about achieving the goal. And we are probably the least happy when we're sitting in indecision and spinning out. That's just that's my hypothesis. So I encourage you to just make a decision. And maybe it's not the big giant decision, but what's the next thing you can do? Get yourself into action. And maybe it's not even about the business, right? Start small. It could be about what's for dinner tonight, or, am I going to do this or do that? Which workout am I going to do? Which food am I going to eat, right? Like there's tons of little decisions, like what time will I go to bed? Like just make decisions in small ways so that you start becoming the person who is decisive, right? And I want you to in your business, you might not be able to make the big giant decision yet, but you can keep taking action with little decisions. Like, what's the next thing I can do? What do I need to know? Right? Decide to decide. So just keep in action and momentum. And then remember that indecision is a decision. You are deciding to stay in indecision. And it feels kind of terrible because you're abdicating your personal power. You're like letting the world, you're letting time, these kind of arbitrary things make a decision for you. Like, have you ever just let the clock run out on something? I did this recently, so I'm still guilty of it, even though I consider myself a person who makes decisions. But I was trying to decide whether to join this mastermind group, and it was something I just didn't quite feel in totally alignment with. And I reached out to have another call, and then they didn't get back to me for quite a while. But like, the program started on like January 5th or something like that, and I just kind of let the time expire, right? I didn't go and just email them and say, no, it's not a good fit, or yes, I want to have another conversation. And it kind of doesn't feel great. Even now when I'm talking about it, I'm like, I really should just email them back. And even though it's like past the time it even started, but just like say, thank you so much for getting back to me. I decided not to pursue that for now. I think I will decide to do that right after this podcast recording. But it doesn't feel great, right? It feels like it leads to more like victim mentality. It feels like you're giving all your power away. And a true entrepreneur, a true badass is making decisions intentionally. They're guiding their life intentionally. And even if it's a no or a no for now, right? That you are saying, I am intentionally doing this, and it feels so much more empowering. And then we feel like we have our own back and we're going to keep making decisions, right? And so that's what I want for you in your business. Like, go get all the facts, decide to decide. Know that it takes so much mental energy to be in the wobble of like, should I? Yes, no, I don't know. Let me go ask a million people. Let me go do more Google research. Like, what is it that you exactly need to know? And if you don't know what you need to know, like sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. That's exactly why we have groups, why we have community, why you can lean on experts. Like, go join the private Facebook group for food business success and ask, like, what else do I need to know here? What am I missing? Or come to the Launch Your Handmade Business workshop and come and ask your questions with me live. You get to ask me those questions. Like, I don't want you wondering if you should or shouldn't do this. I want you to have clarity and confidence to say it's a heck yes or it's a heck no. Not for me now. So that is the podcast today. I want you to decide right now that you are going to become the person who makes decisions and does not abdicate their power to indecision, that we're not letting the clock just run out on us. So with that, I'm going to invite you to come join me in that workshop. It's $19 and it will be the best money you ever spend because getting out of indecision feels amazing and you'll be able to move forward with confidence. And for all of you who already have a business, you are more than welcome to come join me, especially if you're early on in your business. If you just launched, I think you're going to get some ahas that you're like, oh, I hadn't thought about that, or let me go do that work, right? Instead of you maybe just launch like really quickly with your product, but you didn't think about some of these things. They're really key to having a profitable, successful business. So I hope to see you on that workshop. I would love to see you there. We start January 30th. foodbizsuccess.com/launch, and all the details will be in the show notes as well. Until next time, have an amazing week. The smartest thing you can do as an entrepreneur is to invest in a who to help you with the how, to speed up your journey and help you skip the line. When you are ready for more support and accountability to finally get this thing done, you can work with me in 2 ways. Get me all to yourself with one-on-one business coaching, or join Food Business Success, which includes membership inside Fuel, our community of food business founders that includes monthly live group coaching calls and so much more. It's one of my favorite places to hang out, and I would love to see you there. Go to foodbizsuccess.com to start your journey towards your own food business success.